And greetings, everyone. This is Terry Naturally with another edition of Terry Talks Nutrition. We're here every weekend, same time, same station. If you're here now, you're going to be right back here again if you want to listen to Terry Talks Nutrition. I'm Terry Naturally, and I'm always happy to be with you to understand more about how we can be healthier. And when I say we, all of us, because we all are responsible for our health. No one else. We can dig a hole 6 feet down with the way we live, our lifestyle choices, our diet choices, our lazy or energetic level of exercise. All the things that we do can give us vibrant health, vitality, energy, and a sense of well-being every day. Or, as I said, we can dig a hole 6 feet deep with our teeth. It's all depending on us. And the reason that we're here is just to encourage you to be healthier. And I think if you're listening, that is your priority. How do I get rid of this bad condition? Will somebody please help me? Well, we'll guide you, we'll give you ideas, but we can't do anything for you. It's up to you. If you're eating a diet of highly ultra-processed foods, packaged foods, canned foods, all the foods that are sold in the middle of the supermarket, not around the perimeter, but in the aisles in the center of the supermarket, you're not in good health. And you're not improving your health. You got to start in the fruit and vegetable section. And if you can, dairy products are good for some people. Some people don't tolerate dairy products well. I don't. So I don't eat anything dairy. I stay away from all kinds of dairy. I used to get a good raw goat milk from a farm nearby, and I loved it. And it never bothered me a bit. But I can't handle dairy products well. I can eat a little bit of sheep cheese, a little bit of goat cheese, which do okay with me. And then we have the meat section. I thrive on meat and seafood. So we can have good protein foods, good quality fats with olive oil, avocado oil, pecan oil, all the good omega-9 fatty acid oils, not omega-6. The vegetable oils are bad for us. But we need good quality fats, good quality proteins, and very little carbohydrates, and absolutely no sugar. Oh, I bet you're running through the house, turning off the radio and going to get outside and get away from that guy Terry. He's taking away all my good stuff. Can't stand that. Well, then you're going to have to put up with all your ills, aches, and pains, and everything else that you've got. And believe me, I've talked to people all across the country when I go out and do lectures. And people that tell me their stories that not just because of me, but because of other people and because of other lectures, and they saw the light. The light bulb came on, and they changed their lifestyle. And in 3 to 6 months, they had a new outlook on life. Their life was changed. And it's amazing because we can abuse our bodies for decades. And then within 3 to 6 months of improving the quality of our choices, we can have a new lease on life. Totally different. Don't give up. Decide to do it. Unless maybe you didn't suffer enough yet. But if you suffered enough, these changes are little compared to what your rewards will be. And today we have great topics again. We're going to talk about berberine. That's spelled B like in boy. E-R, B like boy. E-R-I-N-E, berberine. It's an herb. Well, I shouldn't say it's an herb. It comes from an herb. It's an alkaloid. And we'll talk about what that can do for you. It's our featured topic of the day. And then we're going to talk about how to have a faster recovery from sports-related injuries. And my favorite topic, olive oil. The health benefits have gone mainstream, and they should. It's the most healthiest food of all the foods that we could possibly consume in a day. Top experts hail it as the superfood, and not in a casual way, but scientific proven that it can change our life. Not overnight. Give it 3 to 6 months, along with your other changes. Getting rid of the carbohydrates, getting rid of the sugar, getting rid of all the refined grains. Grains have no place in our diet. Grains were brought into our diet during the Industrial Revolution. That's only 10,000 years ago. Now, that sounds like a long time, since we only live maybe 70 or 80 years or 90 years. But 10,000 years, there have been men walking on the earth for millions of years. So 10,000 is a drop in the ocean, a spit in the ocean. But since that time, we have relied on grains, bread, pasta, cakes, pies, cookies, all the flour and the grains, all bad for us. They contain particles of lectins that are very damaging to our cells. Give up grains entirely. No, oatmeal is not good for you for breakfast. No. 3 scrambled eggs, some bacon, maybe 1 slice of bread a day. That's it. I haven't eaten bread in ages, or any grain product. You can do it. You can feel so much better. And what is causing AFib? We'll talk about that. And sitting all day at your desk, looking at your computer, has been associated with the new smoking. Meaning smoking is bad for you, right? Well, sitting all day is as bad as smoking. Besides, you need more protein in your diet. As we get older, we become more frail. And we eat less protein. Older people just don't make meals. They don't consume enough good quality animal protein, eggs, or even a protein drink. Some of the ones that you buy off the shelf in supermarkets or pharmacies, they're junk. All kinds of sugar and chemicals and preservatives. You can make your own protein drink at home very, very easily. If you tolerate whey, which is a byproduct of cheese making, cheese production, whey is good, great. Egg white protein, dried into a powder, mixed in with berries and whatever to make a nice smoothie, a nice protein drink. You should have about 40 grams of protein 3 times a day. 40 grams of protein with each meal. You'll have more strength, more muscle tone. You'll feel better. It's a gauge to how we age. The protein is a very, very important macronutrient for us as we age. We stay healthier. And help for your leg cramps. I have so many people that just do not get a good night's sleep because they have cramps. Well, let's deal with that. And women, I'll tell you what, you need more beta-carotene. And we'll tell you why. Don't go away. We have lots more coming up, even digestive issues for women. So we'll cover all that as much as we can in our hour today, but we have many hours coming up. So I'm not going away. I'm not going away, so I hope you don't either. So stay with us. We have lots of good information to tell you about today that will help you be healthier and happier and have a better degree of health. So berberine, is it a fad or a flop? Some people hail it as the new drug that will take away all of your extra pounds, give you more energy, but it's not true. All the bad information that was disseminated on berberine was from TikTok. But now here are some real facts that I'll give you. On berberine, it's not a fad, it's not a flop, it's real. But some people are hailing it as the new Ozempic. It's not. It's not nature's Ozempic. Believe me, it's not. I wish I could tell you it is, but I'm always telling you the truth. And according to the data from the natural products market, this past year, just 3 months in this last year, berberine sales have increased 75% and is being touted as nature's Ozempic. Good for weight loss. Have you seen those ads on TV? They always end, it has a lot of benefits drug-wise, but I don't want to use a drug. I can do the same thing naturally. But they always say, oh, and I lost 20 pounds. Well, everybody wants to go down and buy Ozempic because they want to lose that 20 pounds or more. So there is a wait list on Ozempic. Pharmacies are running out of it. You can only buy a certain amount. You can't buy as much as you would like. They're rationing it out. Oh, the drug companies are going berserk over it. They love it. And now many other similar products are touting the same thing. They're all jumping on the bandwagon. They know you want to lose weight. And they're advertising this as a weight loss drug. And it has not been approved by the FDA for a weight loss drug. So they hail it as for weight loss, reducing food cravings, and lowering blood sugar. So really, what is berberine? Well, first of all, it's a natural plant. But it's not just the plant. There are compounds found in the bark, the leaves, the roots, or otherwise known as the rhizome, twigs, stems of several plants, and they extract out a very deep yellow pigment, a powder, that's an alkaloid. They find it in these following herbs: Indian barberry, golden seal, Oregon grape. These are plants that contain a high concentration of this alkaloid and has been used medicinally for over 2,000 years. Now, really, I'm going to give you some real scientific data. This is true. It's not Ozempic. It's not nature's Ozempic, I'll tell you that for sure. But it can be used for inflammation, metabolic syndrome. And what is metabolic syndrome? Well, we have many conditions going on in our body that are not favorable. They're not positive. Now, metabolic syndrome is a name for a collection of conditions that occur in many adults. First of all, high blood pressure, high LDL cholesterol and triglycerides, and low HDL, the good cholesterol, abdominal obesity, the spare tire, the pot belly, the beer belly, in men particularly, and pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, or otherwise known as insulin resistance. Now, if you have 3 of these conditions that I mentioned, they consider you to have metabolic syndrome. And why should we be concerned about metabolic syndrome? Well, first of all, it significantly increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Almost 1/3 of U.S. adults, that's about 125 million people, have metabolic syndrome, that have a collection of these conditions: high blood pressure, high LDL cholesterol and triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, the good factor. Many, many people have abdominal obesity. They have thin legs, but they have this big pot belly. That's all the fat within the abdominal cavity. That's the worst kind of fat you can possibly have. Abdominal obesity, the spare tire. More than a spare tire. It's huge. It starts from the upper portion of the ribs. It goes right down to almost the pelvic area. It's a huge abdominal stomach. And also type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance. And about 125 million, about a third of the U.S. adults have this condition or a series of these conditions. And if you have 3 of these, they consider you to have metabolic syndrome. Now, berberine has been proven scientifically as a treatment for metabolic syndrome. Clinical studies of people with metabolic syndrome received 500 milligrams of berberine 3 times daily, or a placebo. You know that a placebo is a fake pill, for 3 months. So they wanted to know if the active substance, like berberine, was far more effective than the fake pill. So if the people taking the placebo got better results, well, then the active substance, berberine in this case, would not be very valuable. So now the results. Statistically significant reproduction in lowering the metabolic abdominal cavity, waist size, and glucose levels plus. Now, they used to do this with the BMI, but I'd like to give you a better way to gauge your waistline. What should your waist size be? Well, just take the height of your body. If you're 6 feet tall, you are 72 inches tall. And your waist size should be half of your height. So 72, that would mean 36-inch waist, no more. Now, before I started the keto diet, I'm 5'6", maybe I'm pushing 5'6". I'm 5'5" maybe. And before I started the ketogenic diet, my waistline was 36. And that's only for a person who is 6 feet tall. So now, after being on the ketogenic diet for ages, my waistline now is between 30, 31, maybe 32, depending on, I don't measure it, but when I buy pants, and they don't always cut them to size. They're not the same. They stack them when they cut them. And they have different sizes. But I can wear 30 and some, 31. 31 feels really good. So your waist size should be half of your height. And then look at your glucose levels. And if you do this, in fact, I suggested to many people who tell me, Terry, my triglycerides are off the chart. My blood pressure is too high. The doctor said I'm pre-diabetic. What do I do? Well, to make it easy, just follow the ketogenic diet. That's a diet of good quality protein, about 40 grams of protein per meal, about 120 grams of protein per day, lots of good fat. Now, I know you won't do what I do because I've been doing this a long time, and I experiment with a lot of things before I suggest them to you. But I start my day off on an empty stomach with 1 or 2 shot glasses full of olive oil. Then I do my bathroom chores, and then I have my protein drink. But I know you won't start off with that much olive oil or that much oil. But if you start off with 1 or 2 tablespoons, it'll be a tremendous improvement in your health. Now, when you change, this will all have a reduction on your metabolic syndrome. Change your diet. You'll lose weight. You won't even have to count calories. You won't have to walk away from the table hungry. You won't have to have smaller portions. You won't have to use a little plate and have just one little small plate of food. Of the food you're allowed on the ketogenic diet, you can eat as much as you want. And after a while, you'll start losing your appetite because you are so well nourished from the food that you're getting on the ketogenic diet. If you want more knowledge and want to learn more about the ketogenic diet, here's the best 2 websites I've found. One is called the Ketogenic Diet Resource.com. Ketogenic Diet Resource.com. The other one is The Diet Doctor. Both of these websites are extremely helpful for you to understand and give you testimonials of people and how to use these for illnesses and bring back your health. In fact, the ketogenic diet, from alternative physicians' perspective, is the best diet for cancer patients. You would think so, but believe me, it is, because that's the diet we are supposed to be surviving on and not the carbohydrate diet. And we have a 42% reduction in triglycerides. We have a 6% reduction in blood pressure. And we have a 20% reduction in insulin resistance. That means no type 2 diabetes or less type 2 diabetes. Now here's some more clinical research on berberine. Clinical research. Lowers blood pressure and blood sugar as effectively as prescription drug treatment. In a study with patients that had type 2 diabetes, their fasting blood glucose levels were down 26% after using berberine versus 30% with metformin. Better than the drug. Their A1C levels were down 18% for berberine versus 23% for metformin. Yes, it's not Ozempic. But when you start putting all these things together, berberine and the ketogenic diet, you're going to see some amazing results. When studies show that the fasting blood glucose goes down 26% with berberine versus 30% with a drug called metformin, which has been a highly touted drug for blood sugar levels, and getting the A1C levels down 18% for berberine versus 23% for metformin. And between the ketogenic diet and berberine, it reduces triglycerides by 18%. And 18% reduction in type 2 diabetes from berberine versus just 6% in the metformin group. Now, when combined with the ketogenic diet and hopefully exercise, you're going to have a brand new body. But it'll take you 3 to 6 months. Don't lose hope. You have so much to gain, and the reward will be so unbelievable as to how you feel. It's possible, along with your doctor's monitoring it, that you may get off of metformin, you may get off of statin drugs, you may get off of most of your medications, including high blood pressure medication. And berberine was shown to lower blood pressure more effectively than lifestyle alone or placebo. So use berberine for the following conditions: fatty liver disease, Common, about 30 to 40 million Americans, adults, have fatty liver disease. And 18% of children have fatty liver disease, and this disease is unknown. You don't know you have it. It's a silent destruction of the liver. It causes scarring of the liver, cirrhosis of the liver, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease and dementia, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer. Now, berberine studies were done with 500 milligrams 3 times daily. And now there's also available in the United States a 250 milligram berberine that's compared with a compound called gamma cyclodextrin, which is a form of starch that's not absorbed, does not have calories, does not have sugar in it, to boost the absorption. So just 1 or 2 250 milligram berberines compared to 500 milligrams 3 times daily to boost the absorption. You know, it's not how much you take, doesn't make any difference how many milligrams you take, but what you absorbed in the blood to make a difference in your cellular level and your metabolic syndrome. So I've got more coming up. I just wanted to spend some time on berberine because it does really have an effect on the body in many good ways, but it is not an Ozempic. So get that out of your mind. But you can lose weight with berberine, with the ketogenic diet, and hopefully you add some exercise. Just running 1 mile 2 or 3 times a week would be enough exercise to make a difference. You only need about 15 minutes a day. Now, you can spare that. So, do whatever you can. Get out and walk. Go hiking. Ride a bike, inside or outside. Or go to swimming classes. Do something to make a difference. I'll be right back, right here on Terry Talks Nutrition. I'm Terry Naturally. And welcome back, my friends. This is Terry Naturally. We're at the second portion of our program. We're here to the top of the hour, right here on Terry Talks Nutrition. And we have a lot more coming your way. I probably gave you about 10 ideas in the beginning of the program, and I only went through one. But I think berberine really does need some explanation because it is one of those herbs that doesn't come along very often. And it needs a lot of explanation to make you understand that we really can make a difference along with diet and particularly the ketogenic diet. Got to get rid of the carbohydrates. All of our fat, no matter how much we're carrying, 1 pound or 100 pounds, is all coming from carbohydrates, not fat, not proteins. Get that out of your mind. Fat does not cause you to become fat unless you're eating a lot of carbohydrates as well. Get rid of the carbohydrates, and you'll lose weight like crazy, and you won't even have to try. Just eat the foods that you're allowed, as much as you want of the foods you're allowed on the ketogenic diet, and you'll feel amazing wellness. So right now, let's talk about how to recover faster from sports-related muscle injuries, and we can do this faster with red ginseng. Ginseng aids muscle recovery. Here's some studies. Researchers reviewed 12 scientific articles examining the effects of ginseng on muscle damage and inflammation associated with exercise. Combined, the studies included 276 healthy men and women who were treated with ginseng while exercising, running on treadmills, lifting weights, cycling, or other exercise. Now, why do they compare 12 studies? Well, every study gets a different result. And when you take 12 studies that are differently conducted with different sex and different ages of those sexes, everybody gets different results. But if you compare the 12 and come up with a result of the 12 combined together, you get one result. So they combined 276 healthy men and women on different forms of exercise. It's called a meta-analysis. They analyzed 12 studies to come up with one conclusion from the 12 studies, or whatever number of studies. And they found out from ginseng, red ginseng, not white ginseng, it reduced muscle damage and inflammation. But the results were best with consistent daily use. Not just a single dose of red ginseng before exercising. Have to take it every day because it has to have an effect on the muscle tissue all the time. But it reduced muscle fatigue. Your muscles didn't tire out as easily. This is really great for people that work on more demanding jobs where they have to use their muscles more than sitting at a desk looking at a computer. If you are lifting heavy objects or doing somewhere where we actually use more muscle than most people. The participants were able to exercise longer with greater intensity when taking ginseng. I love it. I take it every day. Increased muscle regeneration. Participants recovered faster, had greater regeneration of muscle fibers when taking ginseng. When we do heavy lifting, or work out, or run, or bike, or whatever it is, we're tearing down muscle fibers. And then those muscle fibers will become stronger in time due to the demand that's put on those muscles. So when you're doing squats, because everybody should do some squats. Our legs give out faster than any other area of the body. So when you get older, you can't get out of a chair. You don't have any leg strength. You can't get up a curb. You can't walk up the 10 steps into church. Whatever. Muscles do not get healthier with a lack of exercise. They get healthier when you exercise and you break down those muscle fibers, so the muscle fibers will get stronger based on the demand. So then you increase the weight. You might only start with 10 pounds or 5 pounds. And I'm not trying to tell you you're going to be a bodybuilder, but we have to regenerate our muscles. It's the one macronutrient that we must have in order to have good muscle strength and bone density. So how do you use red ginseng? Well, quality is an issue. All ginseng grown domestically, farming, means a lot of pesticide spraying. From the results that I've seen from farmers who are growing it domestically as a farm crop, have to plant it and then wait 6 years to harvest the crop. Well, if you're going to wait 6 years to harvest the crop, you want to make sure that at the end of 6 years, you've got a crop. And ginseng is highly susceptible to pests, fungus, and a variety of conditions that will destroy the crop. So they spray it on average of 6 times a year, times 6 years, that's 36 times of spraying with pesticides and fungicides. Now the quality of the ginseng I use, it's grown hydroponically in sterile conditions. No need for heavy spraying, no need of any spraying, no pesticides, no heavy metals, no contamination. Pure ginseng without any contamination. And the red ginseng is only preferred. White ginseng and red ginseng are exactly the same species of ginseng. It's the Panax Meyer ginseng. But red ginseng is steamed or cooked. It's the white ginseng that they steam, which is the traditional Asian preferred form of ginseng. And in the studies on exercise, better results were obtained by participants taking red versus white ginseng. Studies were done to show that red ginseng stands out because it has a lot of improved benefits by steaming, cooking. You get more value out of cooked vegetables than you do out of raw vegetables. Sounds crazy? Well, we don't have the digestive system to break down fiber. So vegetables have a lot of fiber, which is okay, which is good. We need fiber too. But we can't get the nutrients. So take, for example, carrots. You eat a raw carrot. Oh, I'm eating raw carrots, good for me. You don't get any of the nutrients because you can't digest the carrot. So if you steam carrots properly, not boil the diseases out of them, but you steam them properly, you open up the fibers, which then the digestive tract can extract. You get more value out of cooked vegetables than raw. Now back to my favorite, olive oil. Olive oil health benefits are really going mainstream today. And I'm glad to see that. It's time. We are way overdue on the level of how much olive oil we should be consuming. Now, the Mediterranean countries and the Mediterranean diet has been well known for one of the healthiest diets in the world. Lots of fruits and vegetables, lots and lots of olive oil, 1 or 2 glasses of red wine every day. These are all foods that contain high levels of polyphenols, which are groups of compounds found in fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and olive oil and wine. They have less cancer, less heart disease, less arthritis, less illnesses in the Mediterranean countries than we do in the U.S. They consume, on an average of each individual in the Mediterranean countries, about 21 liters of olive oil per year. In the United States, it's less than a half a liter per year per individual. So we are only, we're not even coming close to the level of olive oil that makes a difference in one's life. Now, here are some extra health benefits of extra virgin olive oil. This was in the Washington Post. It was a March article in the Washington Post, profiled the health benefits of extra virgin olive oil. And here's a lady I have been following for a long time. She is one of the experts, world's experts, on olive oil and what it can do for you. So the article cites her, Mary Flynn. She's an associate professor of medicine at Boston University in Providence, Rhode Island, who has studied olive oil for health benefits, for health perspective, for more than 30 years. In a review article published last year, she noted that consuming 2 tablespoons of olive oil daily can improve in blood pressure, cholesterol levels, with as little as 3 weeks. You want to improve your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure? Just 3 weeks of 2 tablespoons of olive oil daily. She has also found that regular, refined olive oil does not contain these beneficial polyphenols found in unrefined or extra virgin olive oil, cold pressed, and does not have the same health benefits. Among the other benefits of extra virgin olive oil, and now you can find extra virgin olive oil that is a premium olive oil because it has a higher concentration of these polyphenols. The European continent, including the Mediterranean countries, has established a level of polyphenols that you can claim that it's rich in polyphenols. And unfortunately, it's more costly because in order to have more polyphenols, the olives have to be picked when they're green, unripe, because it has the highest levels of polyphenols, which protects the olives from damaging. And the extra virgin olive oil lowers blood pressure, drastically reduces the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer, and improves skin quality and fights the signs of aging. After 30 years of research, she has said, and I'll paraphrase it, she said olive oil is the only food that she is aware of that would improve every disease known to man by preventing, reversing, or curing. Olive oil, you have no idea how valuable olive oil is to our health. So try consuming at least 2 tablespoons. And I'm always quick to say tablespoons, 2 of them. Don't put it on your salad. Yes, you can, but after you actually have taken 2 tablespoons of olive oil daily. Sprinkle it on all the food you want. I put it on my eggs. I have scrambled eggs with a couple slices of goat cheese, and I douse it with olive oil. But I've already had my 2 shots in the morning. Use it all day if you want. You can cook with it. It has tremendous benefits, even with cooking with it. Some people say you should not cook with olive oil. That's not true. That's a myth. Olive oil is very, very healthy to cook all of your food. Stir-frying your vegetables, scrambling your eggs, or whatever you want to put it on the fire. Use it all the time. But I say 2 tablespoons to make sure you don't leave half of it in the bowl on top of your salad. When you sprinkle it on, when you drizzle it on a salad, take a look at the bowl, and you'll see it all covered with olive oil. You wasted it. And I want you to get 2 tablespoons as medicine every day. Now, what is causing AFib? Doctors are prescribing drugs for AFib. And now there's thought that it could be because of artificial sweeteners. Get that. A new study results on drink diets. Researchers in Britain found that adults who drank 3 to 4 artificially sweetened drinks per week had a 20% higher risk of irregular heartbeat. That's what AFib is, an irregular heartbeat, due to the sugar. Boy, how we make our own illnesses and sickness. All the modern garbage that's on the market. The risk of AFib was 10% higher if they drank similar amounts of sugar-sweetened beverages. Having AFib increases the risk of stroke by as much as 5 times. 5 times versus normal heart function. Nobody wants a stroke. So why do you drink sugar-laden beverages? And additionally, stroke associated with AFib tend to be more severe than strokes caused by some other condition. So there is help, though. There are a couple of things you can really do to prevent and reduce AFib. Heart-healthy natural medicines that might be extremely valuable to reduce AFib and to regulate the heartbeat. Magnesium works with calcium to keep your heart beating in a regular rhythm and is also important in keeping blood pressure from getting too high. Another mineral that works synergistically with magnesium is zinc. Zinc deficiencies can also play a role in heart conditions and disease. Also, vitamin B6, known as P5P, which is the biologically active form of B6, has no side effects. B6 improves the absorption and the functioning of magnesium. So magnesium, zinc, and B6 in a combination would be extremely valuable for reducing AFib and regulating the rhythm of the heart. And then grapeseed extract reduces high blood pressure, protects the blood vessel walls from free radical damage, and prevents the dangerous oxidation of LDL cholesterol. What this means is that grapeseed extract can help take some of the external pressure off the heart and allow it to beat more regularly. So add the magnesium to your regimen, add grapeseed extract, and I would use the French grapeseed extract. There's a big difference. All the grapes that are produced in the southern part of France, all the Chardonnay wines, the white wines, do not use all of the grape in production. Doesn't use the seed, doesn't use the skin. All those are used in the red wine, that's why it's red. The seed and the skin all make it red. So all the seeds that are left over from making the white wines were commonly given to farmers to feed to their cattle, until scientists found that in the grape seed is one of the most powerful combinations of nutrients, anthocyanins and anthocyans, that improve the quality of the heart. It's the best thing for the heart. It reduces high blood pressure, protects the blood vessel walls from free radical damage, and also prevents the dangerous oxidation of LDL, the bad cholesterol. So grapeseed extract and magnesium that has been combined with zinc and P5P, or otherwise known as the biologically active form of vitamin B6. Now, in the beginning of the program, I was talking about sitting all day, and many people sit all day. That's their job. Just sit here and do your job. Look at that screen. Such an unhealthy condition. Looking at a screen all day, sitting all day, is definitely one of the greatest health risks we have today, and has been compared to smoking. We know smoking is unhealthy. We also found now sitting all day is actually unhealthy. The dangers of sitting down for too long is not going to be effective for good health. In a study looking at the effects of prolonged sitting, researchers equipped with almost 6,000 women ages 63 to 99 with fitness trackers and followed them for 10 years. The results of this 10-year study: those who sat for more than 11 hours a day, well, you can do that at home and at your office, or you can do that at home without going to an office, 11 hours a day, had a 57% increased risk of death from any cause versus those who sat for 9 hours or less daily. Just 2 hours less. And other researchers had produced similar results, but even small amounts of activity can help. Replacing 30 minutes of sitting with light exercise or standing reduces the waist size, and the abdominal potbelly. And people who practice light activity, even just slow walking for 5 minutes every half hour, had an almost 60% reduction in blood sugar levels, blood spikes after meals. We don't need a lot of exercise to be healthier. You can take exercise to such a high level that it then becomes stressful and causes complications. But moderate use of exercise, just 5 minutes to 30 minutes every hour. 60% reduction in blood sugar spikes after meals. And in a separate study, the subjects who alternated sitting and standing at work, which I see now in a lot of offices where desks can be increased in height, and some people don't sit at their desk anymore, they stand at their desk. They use what I would call a standing desk at a much lower mortality rate versus people who exclusively sat all day. So if you have to sit all day, you don't have a standing desk, but now you can drop your desk down and sit, or you can raise it up and stand, which is now quite a rage in a lot of the offices. But if you're sitting and you don't have that opportunity, get up and walk around. Get those legs moving. Get that blood flowing. All that blood pools in your legs if you're sitting all day. You want that blood to circulate and be useful throughout the entire body. Now, I talked about a lot of protein in your diet. So I'm quickly, before I run out of time, I want to give you some signs. You need more protein in your diet. So are you really getting enough protein? Here's what we're going to find out. 3 signs you might need more protein. Frequent illnesses. Yes, due to a lack of protein. Protein is critical to tissue repair and immune function. The immune system needs protein to be healthy. Changes in your skin or hair. Lack of protein can lead to skin dryness and flakiness and dull hair. Muscle loss, so common, and especially in people taking statin drugs. Wasting of muscles, muscle atrophy, muscle weakness. Well, protein is the building block of muscles. The lack of protein can lead to muscle loss over time. A 2019 study found that almost half of older adults, 70 and older, did not get the daily recommended intake of protein. But only 13% of this age group also lacked in carbohydrate intake. The recommended intake for an average person is about 1 gram of protein per kilogram. So if you're 150 pounds, that's 75 kilos. So you should be getting at least, not optimal, but at least 75 grams of protein per day. Optimally, I would say 40 grams per meal. That's 3 meals. That's 120. So somewhere between 75 grams at the bottom to keep you healthy, but not optimally healthy. Then that would go up to about 120 grams of protein per day. So that means like 2 to 3 chicken breasts daily, or 2 or 3 hamburger patties daily, or several eggs per day. You can find good sources of protein. Don't give up eating properly because you are alone, or because you don't want to make too much, or you just don't have the time. Take the time. You have to take the time to be concerned about your health. With that, my friends, I'm all out of time. I've got to run. But I want to remind you, say a prayer for what's happening in this country. It's just beyond belief. God bless you, my friends, and God bless this great country.
Thank you for listening to Terry Talks Nutrition Weekly Show. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, including Apple, Google, and iHeartRadio.